Right now on Good Morning America First Look, a new push to pause demolition work at the White House as new images reveal the extent of the project to make way for President Trump's ballroom. The group now asking to halt the work amid growing questions and concerns.
Also this morning, sources say President Trump is now demanding the Justice Department pay him more than $200 million in damages for previous investigations it put him through. What's behind the request and who could approve it?
New video of clashes on a famous street in New York. Federal agents launching a crackdown on illegal vendors.
Another streaming service is now raising its prices as the entertainment industry braces for another major shakeup.
A new move to get answers at the Louvre in Paris, where the crown jewels were stolen. A famous art thief tells us what he believes happened to them.
The shocking claim that Amazon is looking to replace 600,000 workers with robots. How the company is responding.
Major League Baseball star Mike Trout's emotional testimony at the trial over his former teammate Tyler Skaggs' overdose death. Should his team be held responsible?
And you don't see this in everyday traffic. A lion's daring leap to freedom.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America First Look.
Good Wednesday morning, everyone. I'm Maggie Rulli.
And I'm Mola Lengi. We begin with a major development surrounding the demolition project underway at the White House.
It's part of the work being done to build President Trump's new ballroom. But overnight, we learned a preservation group is now asking the Trump administration to pause work on the project amid questions and concerns. Here's ABC's Lionel Moise.
This morning, with these new images showing demolition work at the White House, the Washington Post reports more than just the East Wing facade is being replaced to make way for President Trump's $250 million ballroom. The Post, citing a White House official, now says the entirety of the East Wing is being rebuilt. ABC News has not independently verified that report. Some critics slamming the project for lack of transparency. The president previously pledged construction would not impact the existing structure. The National Trust for Historic Preservation is now urging the administration to pause demolition for a public review process, writing, "We are deeply concerned that the massing and height of the proposed new construction will overwhelm the White House itself and may also permanently disrupt the carefully balanced classical design. The ballroom, set to be 90,000 square feet, would dwarf the main White House residence, which is 55,000 square feet." President Trump referenced the project during an event yesterday.
You probably hear the beautiful sound of construction to the back. You hear that sound? Oh, that's music to my ears. I love that sound. Other people don't like it. I love it, Josh. I think when I hear that sound, it reminds me of money.
Others expressing concern about the pace of the project and whether it went through the proper legal process. One expert writing, "I think this is a big loophole that has always been there. Previous presidents have observed precedent and not tried to exploit that loophole." The National Capital Planning Commission says it has jurisdiction over construction, but not demolition.
Construction is a process at the end. The East Wing, which is an entirely separate structure from the executive mansion you see behind me, will be more modern and beautiful than ever.
The project pressing on as the government shutdown enters day 22 with no end in sight. Lawmakers at odds over cuts to Medicaid and healthcare subsidies. Corrections officers are among the millions of federal workers now feeling the financial pressure as they report to a dangerous job without getting paid.
It really is a disservice and disgraceful.
Critical resources like SNAP benefits, also known as food stamps, could dry up as soon as next month if the shutdown drags on.
Without this, we will not eat. We will continue to struggle.
One food bank in Houston now increasing its donations, trying to fill the gap.
For every meal that a food bank provides, SNAP provides 9 meals. So we're not going to be able to keep up.
And as we head into winter, there's also concern vulnerable families could lose heating assistance, with energy bills already rising for so many Americans. President Trump says he's willing to meet with Democrats to negotiate over those health care subsidies, but only if they first agree to reopen the government. Maggie, Mola.
Lionel, thank you. Well, sources say President Trump's demanding the Justice Department pay him $230 million in damages for investigations he faced during his first term and during the Biden administration. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has more on this. Good morning, Nicole.
Maggie, good morning. The president has seemingly confirmed that he's asking the Justice Department for a payout of nearly $250 million Trump claims he was the victim of malicious prosecutions and says his privacy rights were violated during a search of Mar-a-Lago. Now, what's remarkable here is that his former personal lawyers, Attorney General Pam Bondi and her deputy Todd Blanche, would likely be the ones to sign off on this kind of settlement. Trump would then personally collect the $230 million from American taxpayers, but he says he would likely give the money to charity or to the White House. Meanwhile, another major headline from here in Washington, Trump's nominee to lead a federal watchdog agency has now withdrawn his nomination. Paul Ingrassia came under fire after the website Politico released text messages in which he allegedly described himself as having a, quote, Nazi streak. He also reportedly made disparaging remarks about the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. Now, his lawyers would not confirm the authenticity of the messages, claiming they may have been manipulated. Mola.
Well, Nicole, thank you. Now to tensions on a famous street in New York City. Agents launching a crackdown on illegal vendors. One of two federal operations turning violent in the last 24 hours. Overnight, protesters demanding the release of migrants detained during an ICE raid in Lower Manhattan. Canal Street, a famous destination for bargain shopping and knockoff designer goods, descending into chaos yesterday. Federal officers, including ICE agents, searching the street for undocumented immigrants as part of an operation the Homeland Security Department says was focused on criminal activity relating to selling counterfeit goods. Vendors packing up their goods, trying to flee. Agents making multiple arrests.
It's gotten a little hairy at points with people running, people falling down in the street, and federal agents running after them.
Crowds forming as bystanders and protesters confronted the agents, leading to shouting, shoving, and at least one protester being arrested.
They're protesting what you guys were doing.
Homeland Security says the protesters became violent and obstructed law enforcement duties, including blocking vehicles and assaulting law enforcement. Recently, pro-Trump social media influencers have been posting videos they claim show African migrants selling counterfeit goods on the street. Meanwhile, across the country in Los Angeles,
This is 20th and Trinity. Looks like they wedged the vehicle. Shots were fired. We see the windows were blown out.
officials say a U.S. Marshal and a suspected undocumented immigrant with a criminal record were both shot and wounded during a targeted traffic stop. They say the suspect rammed a federal vehicle while trying to evade arrest. Officers opening fire, hitting him on the elbow. A bullet ricocheting into the hand of a U.S. Marshal. The suspect, a 44-year-old TikTok influencer, is known for recording video of ICE operations and has even been recognized by the city for his contributions to the community. Well, he's charged with assaulting a federal officer and could face 8 years in prison if convicted.
President Trump's summit with Vladimir Putin has been called off. The White House now saying there are no plans for the two leaders to meet in the immediate future. Overnight, Russia launched a massive drone and missile attack on Ukraine's capital, killing at least 5 people. It comes just days after Trump rejected Ukraine's request for Tomahawk missiles.
Well, scientists call this a worrying sign of climate change. Mosquitoes have been found in Iceland for the first time. Now, before they were identified last week, Iceland was actually one of the only places on Earth without mosquitoes. Experts say Iceland is warming 4 times faster than the rest of the northern hemisphere.
And it's time now for your Wednesday weather.
Good morning. Cool and showery from the Great Lakes into the interior Northeast. There are some showers in the I-95 corridor this morning, and then it's clearing out. Nice in the southeast, mild middle of the country, some showers Intermountain West all the way over to the Pacific Northwest. Melissa, gradual strengthening, some thunderstorms getting to Hispaniola. It's going to stick around right through the weekend. Heavy rains will be the big concern, 5 to 10 inches of rain. Could reach hurricane status, though, over the weekend. Ultimately, it meanders around the Caribbean into next week and then finally goes into the Atlantic, but that's a ways away. That's your forecast. I'm ABC News meteorologist Lee Goldberg.
Well, coming up, another TV streaming service gets more expensive.
Also ahead, the report that Amazon is looking to replace 600,000 workers with robots. How the company is responding.
And what a famous art thief believes happened to the jewels stolen from the Louvre in Paris. Well, today, the president of the Louvre Museum is facing questions about security from French lawmakers after that brazen heist. The prized royal jewels, stolen in broad daylight in a matter of minutes, are valued at more than $100 million. The thieves still on the run. A former art thief who once made off with a Rembrandt is sharing his thoughts on a possible motive.
And I would say they were professional thieves that stole the jewelry, and then they did it on a commission by somebody else who actually wanted to hang on to the jewelry. The worst scenario is somebody like from Saudi Arabia would want the things for their own private collection.
Well, the French culture minister insists security devices installed at the Louvre worked properly during the theft.
Now to a stunning headline. Amazon is reportedly planning to replace 600,000 American jobs with robots. The company now trying to explain. This morning, concerns that Amazon, the second largest private employer in the country, is planning one of the biggest workplace transformations in modern history.
In a fulfillment center, the Cardinal robot will pack packages into carts.
The New York Times, citing leaked documents, reports Amazon expects sales to double by 2033, growth that would normally require 600,000 more workers. But the company is reportedly looking to fill those jobs with robots and automate 75% of its operations.
We could do this with our robot. We could do this with our technology. That's what we're going to do.
In the near future, Amazon reportedly estimates automation could help it save more than $12 billion and shave about 30 cents off each item it ships. In a statement, Amazon said the leaked documents reflect the perspective of just one team and don't represent our overall hiring strategy, adding that the company is actively hiring and plans to fill 250,000 positions for the holiday season.
One of the things that we've been proud of over our 10-year history is the ability to develop robots that work well alongside people.
It comes amid growing fears of technology replacing human workers. The so-called godfather of artificial intelligence has been sounding the alarm.
If I worked in a call center, I'd be terrified. If I was someone like a legal assistant, a paralegal, they're not going to be needed for very long. For mundane intellectual labor, AI is just going to replace everybody.
Well, Amazon has said it's busy training human workers for high-paying jobs that will include working with robotics.
Another streaming service is raising prices, effective immediately. HBO Max is hiking prices across all of its plans by up to $2 a month. Comes as HBO's parent company, Warner Brothers Discovery, puts itself up for sale.
Coming up, forget 10,000 steps per day, just how few you really need to live longer. I want the bare minimum.
That's right. Also ahead, emotional testimony at the trial over Major League Baseball star Tyler Skaggs' overdose death. Well, back now with a Parkinson's patient playing clarinet while undergoing deep brain stimulation surgery. The 4-hour procedure, implanting electrodes in her brain, was performed in London. She was awake the entire time so doctors could gauge in real time the effects of the surgery.
That's incredible. Wow. Well, it also turns out walking as little as 4,000 steps per day could help you live longer. That's according to a new study looking at women over the age of 62. Now, those who walked 4,000 steps 3 or more days per week reduced their risk of death by 40% compared to those who did not walk that much. And their heart disease risk dropped by 27%. Researchers say guidelines recommending 10,000 steps a day should be adjusted.
We turn now to the lawsuit over a Major League Baseball star's overdose death at age 27. Another baseball star called to testify.
Major League Baseball star Mike Trout took the stand Tuesday in the wrongful death trial involving his late friend and Los Angeles Angels teammate Tyler Skaggs. Trout tearing up while telling the court he loved him and viewed Skaggs as a brother.
Tyler Skaggs taking the mound for the Angels.
Skaggs, a pitcher for the Angels, was just 27 when he died of a drug overdose while on the road with the team in 2019. 3 years later, Eric Kay, the former Angels communications director, was convicted of supplying Skaggs with a counterfeit oxycodone pill laced with fentanyl and was sentenced to 22 years in prison. Trout testifying yesterday he did not know that Skaggs had a drug problem and did not suspect Kay was involved in his death, but said he did know about Kay's drug use before Skaggs died and encouraged Kay to get help. Skaggs' family filed the wrongful death suit, claiming the Angels are to blame for Tyler's death, claiming the team knew or should have known that Kay was supplying illicit drugs to not only Tyler, but at least 5 other Angels players, adding the Angels knew Kay himself had a long history of drug abuse. The team denying responsibility, saying its investigation confirmed no one in management was aware or informed of any employee providing opioids to any player, nor that Tyler was using opioids.
I miss Tyler so much. You know, I'm not going to be a grandma. I'm not going to be able to hold a grandchild, and those things are painful. I think about that all the time.
Any opportunity I get to speak about Tyler and the incredible person that he was, that's what I'm going to do, because he deserves it.
Well, Skaggs' family is seeking more than $100 million from the Angels.
All right, coming up, Travis Kelce gets into the amusement park business.
Plus, a wild escape. A lion somehow gets loose. Unbelievable. We'll be right back.
Time to check the pulse, and we begin with Google getting some new competition when it comes to browsing the web.
Yeah, OpenAI has released its new browser called Atlas. The company says that its memory will make the browser more personalized and more helpful to carry out tasks like shopping for you or booking reservations while responding to natural language in the chat.
Sounds like we have some browser wars. Google recently announced it will also be adding more AI features into its Chrome browser. There you have it. Next, Travis Kelce's entering a new business.
Yeah, Taylor Swift's fiance, as he's known, is teaming up with an investment firm to invest in Six Flags. Kelce saying that he's a lifelong Six Flags fan and wants to help make the amusement park special for the next generation. The Six Flags stock was up 17% on that news.
That's kind of cute.
Yeah. Just in time for the NBA season opener, a Michael Jordan rookie card has set a record.
Yeah, the autographed card just sold for $2.7 million at auction. In a new interview, Jordan says he's been staying out of the spotlight to spend time with his family.
Yeah, he actually says that he has not picked up a basketball in years.
No way.
Maybe, even if it hasn't, I don't want to believe that.
I don't want to believe
it either.
In my mind,
MJ is always practicing and training. Now, before the season tipped off last night, the Oklahoma City Thunder received their championship rings. Each ring, as you can see here, actually, this is pretty cool. It reveals a smaller, removable ring inside. They're pretty cool. Also, Thunder won their season opener, beating the Rockets in double overtime. Next, a lion's giant leap to freedom.
Yeah, check this out. This happened in South Africa. A driver captured this video as a lion right there escaped through the roof hatch of that truck, jumping onto the road. It was being transported to a game reserve and had been tranquilized. Apparently just not enough. He was later found resting under a tree. Kind of peaceful, actually. That's very sweet. Checking more top stories, new scrutiny surrounding demolition work at the White House, part of President Trump's plan to build a ballroom. The National Trust for Historic Preservation is urging Trump to pause demolition on the East Wing for a public review process.
A man convicted for his role in the January 6th riot at the Capitol, but pardoned by President Trump, has been arrested again, this time accused of threatening to kill House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Christopher Moynihan is due in court tomorrow.
Gold prices just suffered their biggest drop in more than a decade after hitting a record high Monday. Investors enjoying some profit taking. Prices are still up 56% this year because of concerns about the economy.
Investigators looking into last month's deadly trolley crash in Lisbon, Portugal, say a steel cable was being used that was not certified and was not installed properly. 16 people were killed.
Today's weather: showers in the northwest, rainy and chilly from the Midwest to New England, and rain in parts of the South.
And finally, spreading joy through therapy animals.
Yeah, we've all heard of therapy dogs. Now we have mini horses. Therapy animals usually look like this.
You can come pet her. That's so nice.
Recently, we were introduced to Emma and Ellie.
Could you hug Ellie?
Their dad, a former Army pilot, is traveling the world on a mission to spread joy.
Therapy dogs are for others. They help to spread joy and help people that are in stressful situations.
In Southern California, we showed you how a yellow lab named Emmy has been bringing her next-door neighbor joy every day.
If you notice, she just touched the doorbell. Good girl.
She has her own doorbell. Her neighbor can't imagine life without her.
It never gets old. We look forward to it. We watch the clock.
But on Tuesday in the Big Apple,
would you like to say hello?
It wasn't dogs, but horses bringing the joy.
Oh, I love them.
You want to take them home, right?
These therapy miniature horses dropped in on a retirement home in Manhattan.
It gives all of us old people a little hope, a little pleasure.
17-year-old Pearl and 15-year-old Aiden are from Horseability, a therapeutic riding center on New York's Long Island, traveling the region and brightening up nursing homes, rehab facilities, and children's hospitals.
They're so gentle and calm, and it makes the horses just gravitate towards that.
Staffers at this retirement home say they really are making a difference.
With seniors coping with depression, anxiety, this is the best way to bring out their spirits.
Really, horses in a retirement home?
Typical New York. There's nothing beyond thought here.
I love that. And they do corporate visits.
Let's
Maybe
get 'em
for
here.
GMA First Look
Let's
right
get 'em
here.
That's your Good Morning America First Look.
Have a great day.